There is another catch written on the Shoei website, is that you are not allowed to use this visor during night. Even though it gets clearer and you can see through it, you are not allowed by the law, let's say. Hi guys, this is Andrei from Motoroute.ro, and today I want to talk to you about visors, and especially photochromatic visor, just like the one that I have installed here on my Shoei NXR2 helmet. And in the end, I want to decide together if these visors are really worthy, because they are so expensive. I mean, I've never seen it cheaper than 200 euros, at least here in Europe. If you think about it, they are like 3 times the price that you pay for a regular visor. So are they 3 times better? For those who don't know, it's a visor that automatically gets darker when it senses UV rays. Like today, it is a sunny day in Bucharest, so the visor is starting to get tinted, but the most beneficial thing is that it also transitions to a clear visor and you can see better during the night. But actually there is a catch, because on the Shoei website you will find out that this photochromatic visor is not to be worn during nighttime, just like a tinted visor. I mean, you can use it, but on your own risk, let's say, because when it's completely clear, it lets pass only 86% of the light. And this is not the only downsides, but stick with me because we are going through them one by one. For sure, the main advantage that you have when you are purchasing this type of visor, if you are doing like a long ride, a long trip, you don't need to carry several visors, because this visor can be clear during nighttime and also be darker when it's sunny like it is today. Another thing to take into account is that when it's completely dark, it lets pass like 23 to 29% of the light, the same as a Shoei tinted dark visor. Now you can see how dark it gets. It's actually somewhere between the light smoke visor and the dark visor. However, the thing that I don't like most about this visor is that sometimes when it's cloudy, but still you got like a higher UV ray index, the visor will get dark. It happened to me recently. I was at a track day. It was not the brightest sunny day, let's say, a little bit cloudy, but still my visor was fully dark. And you can see in this picture like the visor seems to be completely dark, even though there wasn't any sun at that point. Also, another thing that I don't like, and maybe some of you expect this visor to work like that, is that they don't transition into an instant, let's say, from clear to dark and back to clear. It takes a lot of time, especially, at least for my visor, I noticed this, when you are going back from dark to clear. It takes a lot of time. For example, if you think about going through a tunnel with the visor dark and the visor will change to clear while you are in the tunnel, forget about this, it's not happening. It takes around a minute or something to transition from dark to clear. However, the transition from clear to dark, it's faster. Another thing to keep into account is that this visor have a limited number of transitions. Shoei recommends changing the visor around 2 years, but if you think about it, considering the price that I was telling you about, 200 euros, I think this would be a pricey approach, let's say, to change your visor every 2 years, because this way you're almost paying for a new helmet while you are replacing 3 visors, let's say, each 2 years. So I don't know about this approach. For sure, Shoei wants to sell more and they recommend doing these changes, but if a thing is not broken, why change it? I've seen on the internet there are people saying that the visor ran out of transition, let's say, because they used it very much, but actually if you store it according to the manual, and by this I mean keeping it in a dark place, I usually keep it inside the box, so when I'm not using the helmet it stays in a dark place, you shouldn't have any issues. As you can see, I have it for almost 2 years and it still works perfectly. If you enjoyed the video so far and find out some interesting facts, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel Motoroute.ro in order to be updated with the last news from the motorcycling world and also having unbiased moto gear reviews. And the last thing, and this is probably the last nail in the coffin, let's say, a thing that I found strange on Shoei's website is that this visor is not compliant with the ECE 22.06 standard, the new one, the improved safety standard. It is crazy because the helmet, the NXR2 helmet, is actually the first helmet in Shoei's lineup that has been compliant to this new improved safety standard, and by just looking at the visor, it looks just the same as the clear visor, as the tinted version of Shoei visor, which are ECE 2206 homologated. I don't know, maybe there is a difference in the structure, maybe it is not the same resistant as the other visor, but this is also something to take into account. And that's why, knowing what I've just told you by now, I am very curious to see what is your opinion. What do you think about this visor? Do you think it is worth it to buy such an expensive visor and use it on your helmet, or do you prefer having different visor and changing them when you are going for a longer trip, when you also need to ride at night? Let me know in the comments what do you think, what is your opinion. In my opinion, I would say that the best thing that you can have for doing long rides, long trips, is usually having a helmet that has integrated sun visor. This is the best way to control when you want to have some shade for your eyes. Let's say you can easily switch them off when you are entering a tunnel. I mean, for my perspective as a tourer guy, that is the best setup, let's say. But if you are into more sporty racing helmets like the NXR2 or the XSPR Pro, the one that Marquez wears, because actually it's the same visor on that helmet as well, then I think this is a good compromise. You don't get quite the same visual clarity, let's say, or the visual quality when you are using a clear visor and a completely dark visor and change them. But at least this way you don't have to carry two visors, and we know when we are touring, the space is an issue. When you are riding a motorcycle, you have to be very careful what you bring in your luggages. So I would say for longer trips, this photochromatic version, it is a good compromise. However, it's expensive. For sure, if there is no issue and money is not an object, for sure is a thing nice to have. In my case, for example, before buying the photochromatic lens, I've bought the entire range of visor. I got the clear one, the light smoke, and the dark version. And finally, I went for the photochromatic, and I thought that this is it. This is the only visor that I'm going to use. I'm going to put also the pin lock on it and use it the entire year. But actually, as I saw, for sunny days when I know that I'm riding only during the day, I feel better, my eyes feel better when I'm using the fully dark tinted visor. Okay, so let me know in the comments what you think about these photochromatic lenses. What are your thoughts if you are using them? Do you feel they are expensive? They should cost less in order to make it more accessible? Do they worth the money? Let me know in the comments, and we'll continue discussing it there.